We've all heard of the immortal love trope, but what happens when that love literally starts to rot? Most zombie stories end with a headshot or a cure, but Sankarea, Undying Love, asks a much more uncomfortable question. If the person you loved came back from the dead, could you handle the smell? Could you handle the rigor mortis? Could you handle the fact that eventually they might actually want to eat you? I've just finished rereading Mitsuru Hattori's 11-volume masterpiece, and honestly, it's one of the most beautiful, disturbing and misunderstood shonen series of the last decade. It's a zombie waifu story on the surface, but underneath, it's a brutal deconstruction of domestic abuse and the ethics of obsession. Before we dig into the guts of this story, and yes, there are actual guts, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps the algorithm find this video like a zombie sniffing out a snack. So, the setup. Our protagonist, Chihiro Furuya, is a high schooler with a bizarre interest in zombies. He doesn't just watch the movies, he's actually only interested in zombie girls. When his cat, Babu, gets run over, Chihiro uses an old family manuscript to brew a resurrection potion made from poisonous hydrangea-scented. During his secret experiments in an abandoned building, he meets Rea Sanka, the local it girl from an elite family. But Rea's life is a gilded cage. Her father, Tanichiro, is a possessive nightmare who takes nude photos of her every birthday to record her growth. Driven to despair, Rea steals a sample of the potion, thinking it's poison that will end her misery. It doesn't kill her immediately, but after a fatal fall of a cliff during a confrontation with her father, she rises as the undead. From there, the story shifts from a quirky occult comedy into a high-stakes drama about keeping a corpse preserved while dodging her vengeful, borderline incestuous father. What makes Sankarea stand out is how it handles the biological reality of being a zombie. This isn't just magic. Rea has to eat hydrangea leaves to stop her body from decaying, and Chihiro has to manually work her limbs to keep rigor mortis from setting in. It's surprisingly grounded for a supernatural romance. The visual storytelling by Mitsuru Hattori is also top tier. He uses larger panels and borderless frames to create this sense of timelessness during Rea's more emotional moments. There's a scene early on where Rea is standing in a field of blue hydrangeas, covered in blood, that is genuinely cinematic. And the symbolism, the hydrangeas themselves are toxic, representing the boastfulness of Rea's father and the gratitude of Rea itself. It's a story where the environment speaks as much as the characters do. However, I have to be honest, this series is not perfect. The biggest issue for me is the total whiplash. One minute you're dealing with the heavy psychological trauma of child abuse, and the next there's a random edgy fanservice shot or a zombie fetish joke that completely kills the mood. Also, the middle arc, the Zoma arc, really drags. It shifts from this intimate domestic horror story into a pulpy shonen battle series involving secret organizations and scientific experiments. It loses that raw, sickly but hopeful magic that the first few volumes had. And then we have to talk about that ending. Spoiler warning, in the final volume, Rea enters her turbid period. Basically a zombie frenzy where she loses her mind and wants to eat the person she loves most. In a church barricaded by Chihiro's cousin Ranko, Chihiro literally offers himself up as a sacrifice. The ending is a trip. Rea actually rips Chihiro's heart out and eats it. But thanks to memory transference, which is a real biological theory mentioned in the text, eating his heart is the only thing that restores her memories and sanity. Chihiro survives because Rea's father returns and performs a literal heart transplant, giving Chihiro a mechanical heart. It's a bittersweet, happy, sad ending, A year later, they meet at a memorial service and Rea says, "Until I rot away," which is just hauntingly romantic. There's also the White Witch extra chapter, which Mitsuru Hattori says is a parallel world or an if story. It shows an ageless Rea living as a hermit in the forest, visited by Ranko's grandchildren, which just drives home the tragedy of her immortality. So is Sankarea worth the read? Absolutely. It's a messy, beautiful and deeply human look at grief. It's about learning to live in the moment, even when that moment is literally falling apart. If you can get past the excessive fan service, you'll find a story that stays with you long after the final page. But what do you think? Was the mechanical hard ending a cop-out, or was it the only way to save the story? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, and don't forget to eat your hydrangeas.